3 months ago, my family humiliated me in a crowded Boston restaurant. My sister laughed. My father told everyone at the table that nobody actually liked me. And my mother stayed silent. So I did something they never expected. Within a few weeks, the family house was gone, the trust fund had disappeared, and the people who spent my entire life looking down on me. My name is Elena Brooks. I'm 38 years old, and for most of my life I believed that if I worked hard enough, succeeded enough, and proved myself enough, my family would finally respect me. I was wrong. Growing up, my sister Claire had always been the favorite. She was confident, charismatic, and naturally good at social situations. My father admired that about her. I was different. Quiet, observant, the girl who preferred computers to crowds. Whenever Claire achieved something, my father celebrated it loudly. When I achieved something, the reaction was usually silence. I still remember the day I won first place at my school's science fair, when I was 10 years old. I had spent weeks building a model rocket that actually launched during the presentation. I ran home with the ribbon in my hand, excited to show my parents. But that night during dinner, my father barely looked at it. Instead, he spent the entire evening talking about Claire's upcoming speech competition. That was the moment I realized something painful. In our house, my achievements simply didn't matter. As I got older, I escaped into programming. While other kids were hanging out with friends, I spent hours teaching myself how to code on old computers at school. Eventually, I started building small apps, simple tools that helped people organize their schedules or manage their tasks. By the time I finished college, one of those apps unexpectedly exploded online. Within months, a large tech company offered to buy it. The final deal was worth $8 million. I remember calling my parents that day. My voice was shaking with excitement. I thought maybe finally they would be proud. My father's reaction was simple. "That's nice," he said. Then he changed the subject to Claire's new marketing job. After that call, I stopped trying to impress them. Or at least I thought I had. But deep down, a part of me still hoped things might change. That's why I planned the dinner in Boston. I chose one of the most expensive restaurants in the city. Soft lighting, quiet music, a view of the harbor. I wanted the night to feel special. When dessert arrived, I placed 3 elegant envelopes on the table. Inside each envelope was a first-class ticket to Hawaii. A luxury vacation for all of us. Claire opened hers first. For a moment, she just stared at the ticket. Then she laughed. Not a happy laugh. A mocking one. "Wow," she said loudly, "you're still trying to buy our love." She tossed the ticket onto the table like it was trash. My father leaned back in his chair, swirling his wine glass. "You think money changes anything," he said. Then he said something that made people at nearby tables turn toward us. "Nobody here actually likes you, Elena." I felt heat rush to my face. Across the table, my mother didn't defend me. She didn't even look up. She simply stared at her plate in silence. And somehow that silence hurt more than the insults. For a few seconds, I just sat there. Years of memories rushed through my mind, every moment I had tried to earn their approval. Then something inside me broke. I stood up slowly. My chair scraped against the polished floor, and several diners looked over. I forced a small smile. "Understood," I said, "but legally it belonged only to me." So I called my lawyer. "Sell it," I said. Within days, a developer offered $2 million for the property. The deal closed quickly. When my father found out, he called me in a rage. "What the hell did you do?" he shouted. "That house belonged to this family." I listened quietly for a few seconds. Then I hung up. A few weeks later, something else happened that shocked even me. My boyfriend Daniel worked as a financial analyst. One evening we were reviewing some of my accounts together when he asked a simple question. When was the last time you checked the family trust? Years earlier I had created a trust fund for my parents and for Claire's children. Over time I had deposited several $1 million into it. Claire had been managing it. So Daniel began reviewing the financial records. What we discovered made my stomach drop. Over the past 2 years, Claire had secretly withdrawn more than $500,000. The money had been invested into a flashy startup idea she believed would make her famous. The project failed within months. The trust was almost empty. For a long time I just stared at the screen. I wasn't even angry. Just tired. The next morning I called my lawyer again. Within a week, the remaining money in the trust was legally transferred to a charity supporting foster children across Massachusetts. Every dollar. Claire found out days later. She called repeatedly, leaving furious messages and accusations. I didn't respond. Meanwhile, the financial details of her failed startup began attracting attention from auditors. Soon journalists started asking questions. An article appeared online describing how the project had been funded. Claire's name quickly became associated with financial mismanagement. Her marketing firm quietly distanced itself from her. Clients started leaving. The confident sister who once mocked me was suddenly struggling to save her reputation. My father tried one final move. He filed a lawsuit claiming I had illegally sold the Cape Cod house. The case lasted less than an hour in court. My grandfather's will clearly stated that I was the sole owner. The judge dismissed the case immediately. My father left the courtroom furious and thousands of dollars poorer. By the end of that year, everything had changed. My parents were struggling financially. Claire's career was collapsing. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. Therapy helped me understand something important. For decades, I had been chasing approval from people who were incapable of giving it. Once I accepted that truth, the anger slowly faded. One winter evening, Daniel took me to a small cafe in Boston's North End. After dinner, he placed a small ring box on the table. "You built an incredible life," he said softly, "but I'd like to be part of it too." I said yes before he even finished the sentence. A year later, we were married in a small church, surrounded by friends and colleagues who had become my real family. My parents and my sister weren't there. And for once, their absence didn't hurt. Today, my energy goes into something new. I created the Arthur Brooks Foundation in honor of my grandfather, the only person in my family who truly believed in me. The foundation helps young women learn programming and launch tech startups of their own. At our first event, I watched a 20-year-old student present her first app idea to a room full of investors. Her voice shook with excitement. And as I listened to her speak, I realized something my family never taught me. Self-respect doesn't come from winning someone else's approval. It comes from choosing your own path and having the courage to walk it without looking back.